You were a little boy. What were your favorite things to do when you were young? What did you like to do?
Well, I used to like to build things in the backyard, playhouses and stuff. And I built, when I was 13 years old, I built a kayak.
Did you really?
Yeah, and
Wow.
I built the kayak, the frame and everything, and then my mother covered it for me with canvas
Wow.
and sewed it all together.
So did you go out in the water in it?
I used to take it over at Lake Elistero all the time. My dad would take it over in his pickup truck, and then I would usually take a friend along with me, and because my mother didn't like me to go out there alone. And
I can see. So none of your brothers or sisters went with you?
I can't remember any buddies I took with me offhand. There probably was some. I can't remember any buddies I took.
Yeah.
I took it down to Big Sur once with some cousins of mine, and the cousin that went out in it, he rolled it over and thought he was never going to come up. That was, you've heard of Vilma.
I don't know.
Vilma Hansen.
Velma Hansen.
She was married to him, Laverne Hansen.
Okay, is that who took the kayak and rolled over in it?
He rolled over in
Oh.
it, yeah. Kayak's made to roll over.
Yeah, yeah. So
And
he was
come
okay.
back up again.
Yeah, yeah. So you used it quite a bit.
I used it quite a bit.
That's
And
amazing.
I got pictures of it.
Wow. So you would say your favorite thing to do when you were younger is to build things? Was that what you did?
I always like to build things. I always like working with tools.
Yeah.
So, and I was carpenter's mate in the Navy, and we didn't do any woodwork particularly, but it was the rating that you were in charge of certain areas of the ship and so forth.
Yeah, yeah.
And like I would take the sounding of the ship. That meant how deep it was down in the water.
Wow.
And it was a big ship. And I have a picture of it right here on my hat. Look at my hat there. It's hanging there.
Is it over here?
No, back up. Turn around. Turn around. The cap.
Oh, the cap. Yeah, yeah. I've seen you wear
There's a
that.
picture of the exact ship. Ben had one made for me
Oh, neat.
when on my 90th birthday.
Yeah, that's great, Grandpa.
So you can see what it looks like.
Yeah.
The ship. It was the USS Comet.
Yeah, that's going to lead me to my next question. I'm going to skip those.
And that was one of the things I had. Another thing I had is go down and check the shaft in the shaft alley, where on the ship, where the big shafts that made the ship go. There was fire hydrants down there.
Wow. And so you were the one that
And I
would...
had to check them every couple of days.
Wow.
That's one of the ships.
You ever get sick being out on the ship? Did it make you sick?
I was very sick when I first went aboard the subchaser I was on.
Yeah.
That was another ship I was on after I got transferred off the troop transport.
So how long were you in the Navy? How long were you on the
3 years.
3 years.
A little less than 3 years, 1 or 2 days less than 3 years.
Wow. So what was your most exciting, memorable moment during your time in the Navy, would you say?
Well, I almost got killed. The Japanese were dive bombing us, and I was standing on the deck, on the ship, and a plane came down and was trying to sink us. So he shot at us, and I was standing on the deck, and I saw the plane coming, so I dropped down in back of the gunnel and protected me, and there was bullet holes all over above me.
Oh my goodness, how
And
scary.
if one of them had hit me, it'd kill me.
Did anybody get hit? Was any of the officers
No,
hit?
they shot at the plane and it took off.
Yeah,
So, but
that's good.
there were a couple of guys killed on the ship. Well, one of the seamen, he fell down in a hole in the ship. The hole was where they stored all of the food and stuff.
Well, that was a good place to go, I guess, if you're going to go.
So that was after I was transferred off the ship. This boy was killed.
Oh, so he was killed.
Yeah, when
Oh.
he fell down in the.
Oh, I thought he just
It was
went
a
down
hole-
there
a
to
hole
escape.
about as big as this room.
Oh, so he actually got shot and fell down
He
into...
didn't get shot. No, he just lost balance
Oh, and that killed him.
and killed him.
Wow.
Yeah.
So,
Hi.
what was your most terrifying... Hi.
I'm glad you made it over.
Oh, yeah, good to see you. What would you say was your most terrifying experience during World War II?
Well, our ship being shot at.
Yeah, I was going to say.
And we would send men in to shoot the Japanese on the island, and they shot back and sunk some of our landing barges that all our men were on to go fight them.
Oh, no. So what happened to the men? So what happened to them then? The guys that got shot? Did the boats end up sinking or?
A lot of them got killed,
Yeah.
and then we put them back on the ship when they were dead, we took them back. The ones that were still alive, we took back to Pearl Harbor to get medical treatment.
So, Grandpa, you were responsible for bringing the guys that died back onto the ship, or moving their bodies?
The guys that had got hit and were dying.
Okay, you brought them.
Yeah. And so we had to bring them back on the ship. And then at nighttime, we would go out from the island and bury them out at sea.
Wow.
The ones that died.
I didn't realize you did all that. That's amazing. Just in the 3 years that you were in the Navy, that you experienced all that.
I've told Mitzi all this.
Yeah.
There's a story that he says that you used to help the Marines load up.
Yeah, I used to help them load up. That was one of my jobs, to go into the little boats,
Yeah.
over the side down a rope ladder, and
Wow.
then they would go in, and when there was a chance, they'd land on the island and they'd shoot the Japanese.
Wow.
But what was hard was he was the one who actually helped load them. And so
Yeah.
he knew that he was maybe saying goodbye to them. That these were Marines going out there to fight.
Yeah.
And then they would come back and take the wounded, and sometimes take those that had, and then some of them would die on ship, and then
Yeah.
some of them that had died, they would put the bodies on the ship. Then they would move away from the island a little bit. Tell them about the one burial at sea.
Yeah, we had number burials at sea, but when a man would die that we were taking back to Pearl Harbor, he was injured. Well, we would bury him at sea because we didn't want to leave him aboard.
Wow.
we were making the trip back to Pearl Harbor because it take about a week to get back to Pearl Harbor on a big ship.
So, Grandpa, how would you prepare the body? Did you wrap it in like a flag and?
They take them in, you put them on in a bag, sewed up, a canvas bag, and they sewed them up and put in a 5-inch projectile in with them, so it'd be heavy weight, and then they'd put it on a chute going over the side, and there'd be a chaplain who would say a prayer over them, and they'd shoot them down into the water, and then you look over the side and you could see them twirling around, going down all the way to the bottom.
Oh my goodness! So what about the families? Were they didn't want the bodies, or?
No, they.
You got to remember this was back in the 1940s.
It takes us a whole week to go back to Pearl Harbor.
There was too many of them,
and
they
the bodies.
dead bodies.
I remember
awful.
I was making an inspection once. My job was making security inspections, and I looked into the icebox, and there was a couple of bodies in there.
Oh my goodness!
I just give me the creeps, so I got out of there.
Yeah.
Why did they have them in there, Dad?
Huh?
Why did they have them in there?
Why did they what?
Why did they have them in there?
To keep them from getting too warm and smelling.
So they weren't gonna put those
After
bodies.
they died, they were cold.
I thought they were going to bury them at sea, though.
Where they were, but they until then, they kept them in the icebox. Because sometimes we couldn't bury them for a couple of days.
That's amazing. So where were you when the Japanese surrendered?
Well, I was out at sea. I was on a subchaser at the time. Because that's what I was shipped back to the United States to change commands onto a subchaser rather than a troop transport.
Yeah.
Because they were going to make another invasion on Okinawa. And
So you were back here when they
I
surrendered?
went back to San Diego.
Oh, okay, so you weren't out at sea when
No.
they surrendered.
No, and it actually was in what's the name of that town that's near this side of San Diego?
I'm trying to
I
think.
forget.
I don't know.
I forget the name of the town, but I was there. That's where I got discharged too.
Oh wow. So what was the moment like when they surrendered? Was everybody like jumping up and down and
Well,
rejoicing?
I was on the ship, the subchaser, and the captain of the ship, he took a broomstick and got up on the bridge and spun it around, and it made a lot of clapping and noise and everything. And
I can imagine.
everybody was all excited when we heard and we were actually out at sea at the time.
Oh, you were. So you were out at sea, but just down near San Diego, over there.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's near San Diego.
Yeah. Wow.
What ship was that, Dad? The subchaser. What ship was that?
That was a 1448.
That was what they called it? No, what was the name of the ship?
1448.
1448.
That was the
Wow.
name of the ship.
That was the name of the ship,
It's a
1448.
1448 subchaser.
Yeah.
See, that's new to me.
Wow.
That's new
Yeah.
information to me. Yeah.
Yeah.
The troop transport
I
you
got a
were
picture
on.
of it.
Yeah. The troop transport you were on. What was the name of that?
Comet, USS Comet.
Right. Ben got him a hat.
Yeah, he was showing me the hat
Yeah.
that he wears
And
when
it
we go
shows-
for walks.
Shows a picture of the ship too.
Oh, it does. Okay, I'll
On
have
the
to,
hat.
have to look at Let's
Take
see.
a look at it.
Yeah, I will take a look at So, Grandpa, how old were you when you went in? Were you
17.
18? Oh, you were 17.
Because he didn't turn 18 till August. His birthday's in August.
Yeah,
Oh, so
I got out of
that's
high school
awesome.
and then I went right in the Navy.
Okay, so then you
Two
were
weeks
out by
ago.
the time you were 20,
Two accidents.
No.
right? 3 years, you said?
21 or 2.
How old were you when you got out, Grandpa?
I was 21, I think.
21.
So you had 3 years in there? They didn't make you do 4 years? It was 3 years?
What?
It was 3 years? You served for 3 years, Dad?
I was in for 3 years.
For 3
A
years.
little less, one day less than 3 years, I think it was.
So Grandpa, that brings me to, then you got out when you were 21, and then you came back here, right?
Here I was 21 in that picture there.
Oh,
That
okay.
was right after I got out. I had to take it.
That's a great picture of you.
Yeah, that is. It's a good picture of me.
Very handsome. Very
Yeah, I
handsome
was a
picture.
good-looking kid.
You were, and Grandma was a beauty, wasn't she?
Well, there's a picture of her. Yeah, she's a good-looking woman.
So you came back and you guys started dating right away, or how much longer?
Well, she was a hostess at the Lutheran Service Center in Monterey by the wharf, and they serve coffee and stuff to servicemen here in Monterey Peninsula. I was.
No, I know, I do, but it's nice that it's nice and bold. You got this and you got. Okay, thanks.
So then you guys started dating right away, or you?
Yeah, but our pastor was Lutheran Church. He'd go down there and relieve the pastor that was there during all during the week. So, because he was in charge there.
Hey, Bob.
That's funny.
Hold on, sorry.
How about there just right Roseville? Yeah, so actually Roseville's even better than Sacramento.
I want to know about when you met Grandma.
Well, I went to Sunday school with her since she was 4 years old. We both went to Sunday school together.
And so you went to
And
PG
so I-
schools, and she went to
and
Monterey schools?
She went to Monterey schools, and I went to Pacific Grove schools. And she used to come. She knew my sisters real well, Shirley, and because she was only a few year or so younger than her, or older than Shirley, and so she was over at the house some when she was younger, and then I got she worked. Then she went to work for the Southern Pacific Depot.
I think I remember her telling me about that. She
Yeah.
had a couple jobs like
And
that.
so when I would go down to San Diego, she'd come out and wave to me on the train.
Okay, so she knew you. I mean, you've known her since
knew
she was
me-
4.
I knew her from going to Sunday school
Yeah.
together when we were 4 years old.
So did you have a crush on her when you were just a little boy, or was it more when you got older?
She's just another one of my sister's girlfriends.
Oh,
I never
okay.
paid that much attention. But then I used to go over there and play chess with the pastor at Friday nights. It was his turn. Pastor of Lutheran Church. Pastor. I can't remember his name either. It come to me. And what is his
So Grandpa, when did you start dating then? Was it just on one of your trips?
We started dating him right away.
So it was.
Dating her right away.
Was it when you came back then? She
When I
saw
came
you
back-
on the train?
When I came back from overseas, well, I started going over there to the Lutheran Service Center, where she was giving coffee to the boys and so forth. So, and I asked her after I played chess with the pastor, I said, "Can I help you with the dishes?" And she said, "Well, yeah." And I said, "Well, how would you like to go to a movie with me?" And she, tomorrow night or something like that. And she said, "Oh, yes, of course." Like
She
didn't ask her
had
first.
her eye on you. She had her eye on you.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
So what would you say kept your marriage to Grandma going for almost 68 years? What would you say? What was the key? What is a key to a long, successful marriage?
Well, we had a good love affair, and
Is that the key?
that was the key. We had a good love affair, and
Yeah, yeah. So you think that's a key?
but that was why we stayed together so long, and we were madly in love with one another. There's no
Yeah.
question about it.
You were crazy about each other.
And she's the most beautiful girl I ever took out.
Aw. She was a beauty, Grandma.
But you can see right there that picture. She was a beauty right there, I think.
Oh yeah. I mean, I've always
And
thought.
she was let's see, about 60 there.
Yeah. Well, that was your 60th. Wasn't that your
That was
60th?
That was our 60th anniversary.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I always thought, I mean, Grandma aged very gracefully. She was such a beautiful woman. I mean,
Yeah, that's exceptionally a good picture.
yeah.
I don't think it's very good of me, but it's not bad.
Oh, no, I think it's good of the two of you. So, what were your most memorable moments when you went on the family campouts? Didn't you guys used to camp with all the
Yeah,
kids?
we used to go down to Big Sur.
Do you know, I remember that. I remember being a little girl and every summer, how long did you guys go down there? Wasn't it for like a month or something?
We go down there for a week at a time.
Okay, I just remember like
Or
going
maybe
and meeting
sometimes
up with
maybe
you guys.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And you did that every summer?
we do it every summer. Yeah, unless we go somewhere else, we travel all the way back east with our trailer.
Was that when you were older or once your kids were grown, or was that when they were
Well,
little?
after we were married for a while, and we could afford to buy a nice trailer, and
Yeah.
so
So what would you say were your most memorable moments when you went camping? What did you enjoy the most about camping?
I enjoyed going fishing in the rivers and swimming in the rivers. There's a nice river at Big Sur.
Was Big Sur your favorite place to camp?
Yeah,
Has that always been
we
kind of
liked
your...
Big Sur real well. And it was handy because I could set Grandma up with a nice camp on a Friday evening, and then I would get a ride back in on the school bus from Big Sur,
Yeah.
and he'd give me a ride back down to Big Sur in the evening.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I knew the guy real well who was the bus driver.
Yeah. So what would you have to come back into town for?
To work.
Oh, so you worked and you just, okay, so you would come here, work for the day, and then catch a ride back with him?
Yeah.
Was that when your kids were young? Was that when the kids were young? Your kids?
Yeah, they were all young then.
Okay.
Well, we didn't go before they were probably 5 years old anyway.
Yeah.
We go, so.
Wow. Did you plan on having 9 kids?
You
and Grandma?
I kind of wanted 4.
Oh, you wanted 4. Did Grandma want?
And she wanted to have as many as the Lord would provide.
Wow. And so that's what you did.
And that's what she did.
Wow.
And we had 9 children.
It's amazing, Grandpa, just to think all the grandchildren you have now, great-grandchildren, and you
yeah.
even have great-great-grandchildren.
Oh, yeah. We had about 50 grandchildren and great-grandchildren
That's
all together.
amazing. I know. That's amazing. Just from your love affair with Grandma.
Yep.
It's amazing, Grandpa. So I'm going to switch a little bit and just ask you, what memories do you have of your grandparents? Do you have any memories of your grandparents?
Oh yeah, they had a big house down there on Pine Street, Pine and 17th Street.
Okay, so it wasn't the one on Spruce and Park. It was a different
No,
one.
that was my
That was your
parents.
parents. Okay, but then your
My
grandparents lived
grandparents,
on.
my father's mother and father, they lived there in the big house on Pine Avenue.
Wow.
And so we used to, at least once a week, we'd pick them up in the evening and take them for a ride to Monterey and back, or Carmel. And my grandfather used to work for my father in the meat market on Saturdays when they were pretty busy.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
so I got along good with my grandfather because he liked to work with tools and stuff.
So what did he do? What was his trade, your grandpa?
He was he owned a grocery store and meat market in San Jose.
Oh, your grandpa did.
Yeah.
And then your dad, didn't he do kind of the same
He
thing?
owned a meat market in
He owned-
Monterey.
Oh, in Monterey. So they both owned meat markets.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Wow. Do you have any fun memories of, did you go camping or do anything with your grandpa? Did he
No, I
like to
never
camp
went
or?
camping with him. He was pretty old. He was in his 80s
Really?
when I was a little boy.
So they must have had your parents later in life.
Oh yeah,
Maybe.
my dad was the youngest boy, and then Florence McEnany, she was the baby of the family.
Oh,
You've heard of Florence McEnany?
I don't. So how many children did they have? Your grandpa?
7, I think.
7. Wow. Wow. I didn't realize that, Grandpa. And then your mom and dad there was you, Shirley, Aunt Jeannie, right?
Yeah, that's all.
Just the 3.
Three
Yeah.
of us.
Wow. That's right. So you had just 2 sisters. It was Grandma that has. How many siblings did Grandma have? Do you remember?
My mother's mother?
No. Sorry. Your wife's
Oh,
siblings.
She had
My-
about 7.
7. Yeah. That's why I always get confused.
She
I
had
get
about
your
seven in her-
sisters
she had about
confused.
7 in her family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing. So what kind of man was he, your grandpa? Was he was he strict? Was he soft spoken?
Kind of old man.
Yeah.
And he liked to do tinker around in his backyard, and he had chickens.
Oh, really? Just right down the street here?
Yeah.
Because it used to be a forest, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was
So
a
how
forest
things going?
here.
You
That
got
was
5 minutes.
that was
I'm sorry. Are you done?
up on Pine Street.
How did it go? Oh,
Good.
yeah.
He's still just answering a question.
Okay.
So he had chickens on. He had chickens down there.
He had chickens down there in the
Yeah.
backyard with a bunch of chickens.
Yeah.
And then he rented rooms upstairs in the house.
Oh, he just to whoever.
It's a big house.
It was a big house, so he just rented them out. I wonder. So it's on Pine and 17th Street.
No, it's Pine and 18th, actually.
Oh, Pine and 18th. Okay.
Yes.
And it's a 2-story.
It's a 2-story have
Is it still there, or have they
It's
redone
still
it?
there.
It's still there. I'll have to see what
I
house it is.
repaired some of the work on it over the years.
And what is the house? And you were born right on Forest Avenue, right?
Forest Avenue.
Down at the bottom.
Yeah, about the 6th Street house up
Okay.
on the waterfront.
Yeah. I'll have to check that out too. It was a
It's
White
White
House.
House.
Yeah, I think I remember you telling me. It was a White House. Okay. Well, Grandpa, what is your earliest memory? What's the earliest memory that you have? Do you remember being like 2, 3, 4?
The earliest memories I've had, I can't remember any.
Do you remember being a little boy?
I guess if I really think about it, I might. I don't know.
Do you, let's see. I have another question for you then. Where and when did you go on your family vacations before your high school graduation? Do you remember? Because you would probably go with your mom, your dad, and your two sisters, right?
Yeah.
Do you
Yeah,
remember?
We went to Yosemite a couple of times when my dad was able to take off, and we went back east a couple of times. In Colorado, we went back to see some friends of my sister's that she met here.
And so would you guys camp or would you stay at hotels? What did you do? Did you camp along the way?
Yeah, we camped around.
Oh, you
along
camped.
the
So
way.
your dad liked to camp. Your dad and mom
my
liked to
dad
camp.
liked to camp.
Is that where you got your love for camping as your parents, you think?
Well, I suppose so.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
neat. How about your grandparents? Did they like to camp?
No,
No, you didn't really go camping with them.
no.
Yeah. That's neat.
Well, I only had one grandfather. The grandfather died when my mother was only 2 years old, I think.
Oh. So your mom didn't even know her father.
No.
Wow. I didn't realize that. And how old were you when your mom died?
Oh, I guess it was around. Gee, I don't know. I guess I was in my 60s.
When your mom died?
Yeah.
That's right. You know what? I think I remember. Do you know I remember your mom?
Well, imagine. I got some nice.
I was like
nice
6 or
pictures
7.
Nice pictures of her.
Mm-hmm.
There's a picture of her next to the clock.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember. Great grandma.
Beautiful lady.
She was.
She was a very nice person. She was smart. She worked. She was in charge of the housekeeping department out at Del Mar Lodge. I got her the job.
Oh, was she really? I didn't know that. Is that what she did then?
No, she was. She worked at the laundry for a while. Grove Laundry.
Is that the one down on Lighthouse? Down there? The laundromat?
Yeah, the one Lighthouse Avenue.
So what would she do? Fold clothes? Wash clothes and fold clothes?
Yeah, full
Yeah.
clothes.
Wow. I didn't even know that.
And then when she they didn't have work for her anymore. Well, I was a project superintendent at Del Mar Lodge, putting one of the big buildings in up there, and I got to know the head housekeeper out there. So I asked her if she had any openings for a housekeeper
Yeah.
there, and so she says, "Well, I'll check into it." And so she said, "Yeah, we'll try your mother out," and so she liked her so well. She retired, and then they made housekeeper out of my mother.
Oh, that's
so
great.
she was head housekeeper there.
Yeah. And how long did she do that? Was she there for a while?
Quite a few years. Quite
wow.
a few years. Yeah, and they liked her real well. The head housekeeper became very good friends of my mother's, and when she retired, my mother and her used to go out to dinner together and so forth.
Wow. And is that where she worked until she retired then?
No, she went to work for the Forest Hill Hotel as a phone operator there.
Oh, really? What hotel?
And at the desk there at the Forest Hill
Oh,
Hotel.
Forest Hill Hotel.
Forest Hill Hotel.
It must have changed names now,
You
right?
know what Forest Hill Hotel is?
I don't know. Uh-uh.
It's that big hotel just this side of the high school, the junior high school
In Monterey?
in Pacific Grove.
Junior high school's right there, though. I'm trying to think. Not the middle school.
On
You said
Forest Avenue.
on Forest Avenue.
Yeah.
Oh, so right below.
Forest and Gibson.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think it's probably something else now. Like
It's a big hotel.
yeah, I think it's a home for yeah. Wow. So, Grandpa, did Aunt Jeannie attend your and Aunt Shirley's high school graduation? Did your sister? Did Aunt Jeannie attend yours and Aunt Shirley's graduation, high school graduation?
I'm sure she probably did.
And did she graduate from high school? Did Aunt Jeannie graduate from high school? Do you know?
I'm sure she did.
Yeah. Do you have a lot of really good memories with her and Shirley growing up?
No, not particularly. I being just the only brother, had my own thing.
You ever give him a hard time, Grandpa? Since you were the only boy?
They'll tell you, I always gave them a hard time. I was a big tease.
Yeah, were you?
Oh, yeah.
So what is the craziest thing you've ever done?
The what?
The craziest thing.
I don't know. I probably did a lot of crazy things.
Would you say it was in the Navy?
I can't name one of them.
Okay, how about what was your scariest moment in the Navy?
Well, like I say, the time that I almost got shot.
When you were out on the ship?
Out on the ship. And we were there at Saipan and anchored in the bay there, and Japanese flew over with a dive bomber and shot. He tried to sink our ship, and so they took bullets and shot them all over the ship. And I was standing outside on the ship, on the deck of the ship.
That's amazing.
And right above me, well, the bullet holes.
So they just missed you.
And I ducked down on the ground or on the deck of the ship, and so they couldn't hit me.
Yeah.
And that was the closest call I had.
So if you wouldn't have ducked, then they would have probably hit you. You would have been hit by the bullets, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that was a scary
That's
moment.
scary. Yeah. So that's probably your scariest moment.
Yeah, other than that, I didn't have any really close calls.
Yeah. So what were your feelings when you left to serve in World War II, and what were your feelings coming home?
What were my what? Now?
Your feelings. What were you feeling when you left to go to, into World War II? Were you scared? Were you, I don't know, nervous? I would assume you were probably both.
I'm not following you.
So when you left to go serve in the war, World War II, how did you feel?
Well, everybody, all of them in my age, enlisted
Yeah.
and went through training. And then after I was trained, well, I was shipped aboard, put aboard ship a new ship that was being fitted for war, and was shipped overseas.
Wow.
I was only 18 years old then,
Wow, you were young.
and I went through training, starting training and so forth when I was 17.
Yeah. Did you realize that you were going into war
Oh
when
yes,
it was happening? Yeah.
and like I say, I didn't know what it was going to be like,
Sure.
except for what other people told me they had gone through it.
Yeah.
Because I was actually overseas probably near the end of the war.
Yeah. So how did you feel when it was over?
Oh, very good.
Was everybody just partying and
Yeah, well, I was on a substation then.
that's right, down near San Diego, right? You
Yeah,
were saying?
yeah, right out
Yeah.
in the bay in San Diego.
Wow, that's amazing that you lived through that, you know?
Yeah,
How about do you remember what it was like surviving the Depression? You remember that? You were probably just a little boy, right?
yeah, but my dad always had food on the table because he was had his own meat market,
Oh, that's right.
so.
Yeah.
He had his own meat market and grocery store, and so we got by fine. And then they took a special loan out on the house. They had this house built down there on Spruce Street.
Is that the one on Spruce and Park that we lived in?
Yeah,
Yeah. So your dad had it built. Your dad had it built? Did he buy the property and build the
yeah,
house?
yeah.
Oh.
And then I remodeled it after I moved out.
Yeah, I remember. It was when I was in sixth grade.
And, it turned out pretty good. I could have made a lot more on it, but when I sold it, but I sold it pretty cheap, I think.
I think so too. So you don't really feel like you really fell on hard times during the Depression because your dad didn't make it seem like you're. I
That's
mean, you
right.
guys
We
still
never
had
had
food
real
and
hard times.
you never had. So, does Pacific Grove still feel anything like the Pacific Grove of your youth?
Yeah, everybody knows everybody.
Yeah.
I used to know everybody. Before I went in the Navy, I knew everybody in Pacific Grove. I speak to everybody in Pacific Grove.
Yeah, everybody knows you.
And I still speak to everybody.
Yeah. That's great. So, what has changed and what has stayed the same, would you say, in Pacific Grove? What has changed?
Well, they put new stores in. Almost all the stores are new stores. They didn't have the post office where it is now. It was on Forest Avenue,
Oh, I didn't
just
know that.
down from the police station.
Oh, so that was the post office, like right where the clock is? There's the clock tower down there right below
No,
the
it's
police
right in the
station?
middle of the block
Oh,
between.
I didn't realize that. I never knew it to be there.
Yeah, that's where I was when I was a boy.
Oh, wow.
They didn't build the new post office until I was in high school.
Oh. So what's stayed the same, would you say? about Pacific Grove?
Well,
You,
it's a family town for people to grow their families,
yeah.
and it it's always a nice place to live.
Yeah,
Quiet place.
I've always loved Pacific Grove.
My uncle was the chief of police of Pacific Grove for quite a while.
He was.
Yeah, you heard of Florence McEnany?
I've heard the name, yeah.
Yeah, she's my aunt, my
Okay.
dad's youngest sister, and she was married to the chief of police of Pacific Grove.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
How long was he the chief of police?
I think he was about 20 years, I think.
And was that when you were a little boy?
Yeah,
Wow.
and then actually until I was building his house, he used to come by and talk to me so forth in the police car
Yeah.
when I was. In fact, I remember he told me I was cutting the trees down here. He said, "You know, you're supposed to get permission to cut trees down in Pacific Grove." And I said, "No, I didn't know that." He says, "Well, you better go down and sign up for it."
So did that put a stop to what you were doing for a while until you had to get permission?
No, I got permission right away.
Oh, you did. It probably wasn't as hard back then.
And it wasn't as strict as it is now.
Yeah.
And so I just went down and told them I had to cut down a bunch of trees. And they had a guy come up, work for the Pacific Grove tree department, and he came up here and told me all the trees I could leave and all I could cut down. So I told him, I said, "Well, I can't build that house on that piece of property because I have to leave all those trees." "Well, do the best you can," he says. "We'll be leaning with you."
So how many trees?
So I ended up cutting 30 trees down.
Oh my goodness. So it was a forest here. It was a forest.
It was a forest.
It's a forest.
Yeah, I cut all these trees down, and there's one of them I was right about sitting where this house is, and it was leaning that way a little bit, but I thought I could make it fall back that way.
Oh no.
Anyway, it fell one Saturday morning early. I cut it down, and so it fell clear across this road.
Oh no.
And Saturday, and if it had happened now, I would really be in trouble. But
Yeah.
I blocked traffic for half a day.
Yeah. Oh wow. But you
I
probably didn't
used to
have.
I used to have a high school boy help me. You remember Art Hummel?
Mm-mm.
You remember the Hummel boys?
No.
Hummels were, Mary Hummel was a good friend of my mother.
Oh,
They
okay.
went to our church. And the Hummel boys were about your age, around your age.
Oh, okay.
And he helped me cut down the trees
Oh.
with a two-man saw. I didn't have a power saw.
So so how old were you when you were cutting down the trees?
Oh,
Weren't you in your
well,
20s?
I was 20 years old.
Yeah, I don't think I wasn't born until you were 40.
Is that right?
Well, no, you're 90. I'm only 43. So you were almost 50 when I was born.
Oh,
So they were probably more so like maybe Sharon and Dorothy's age, huh?
yeah.
So they would come over and they would help you cut down your trees? So you had help?
I had help.
Yeah.
I pay them so much
Yeah.
for each tree I cut.
So how long did it take you to build the house? And you built it by yourself too,
Yeah, all by
right?
myself.
Wow, that's amazing, Grandpa.
Oh, I just did it in my spare time because I was working on the job,
Yeah.
and I was supervising work too, so I didn't have an awful lot of time to to work on the house,
Yeah.
but I did it in my spare time, and
It's
so
amazing.
I'd say, oh, the whole time I was building it, it took 20 years maybe.
Wow. So, well, didn't you guys move in here when Richard and my mom, Tina, were babies?
Oh yeah, you lived here then, so
So, you weren't that, you must have been at least, what, in your 30? Wait, no, you had them when you were in your 20s, right?
probably.
Yeah. Wow. It's amazing, Grandpa, to see your, probably just to walk through the house and, see your work on everything.
Yep, I did everything.
It's amazing. I remember when
I
you
didn't
did the
have any
addition.
help on it really at all. I did it all by myself.
Yeah. Well, I remember when you did the addition back there.
Yeah,
I remember you building that. That's pretty amazing that you did that all by yourself.
yeah. See, I was a carpenter's mate in the Navy, so I learned a little bit of carpentry work in service.
Yeah.
But of course, being aboard ship, I didn't have much woodwork, carpentry work, but I did things pertaining to carpenter's work.
So was that the trade that you went into the service for to learn? Was that what you were?
Yeah, carpenter's mate.
Oh, okay. Wow.
I signed up for that.
Yeah. Wow, Grandpa. And you've done a lot. I wanted to find out because you were telling me the other day that you built a canoe. Whatever happened to the canoe?
I took it all apart.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, because it was in the way and weren't using it.
Yeah.
It was hanging in the rafters in my parents' garage down there,
Yeah.
and so I had a pretty good.
You guys are all right. I just gotta go upstairs. I'll be
I
back now.
had good fun with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
We took it out on Lake El Estero quite often.
Yeah. That sounds like fun. It's amazing.
But I wasn't building this house when I had it.
Yeah. You had built that way before, right?
I built the kayak the way before.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Grandpa, what is one thing you still want to do in this life? Is there something you still want to do? Or do you feel like you've lived a full life?
Well, I don't know. I like to. I like to be able to do more church work than I do, but I'm getting pretty old for that.
Yeah. What kind of church work would you do if you were
Just
capable?
telling other people about Jesus.
Yeah. You did the Gideons for a while, right? Didn't you do that?
Yeah, I was Gideon's for a while, and used to take Bibles around to hospitals and so forth.
So if
And
a
then I worked for the hospice for 7 years after I retired, and taking people from the hospital at the hospice house to the hospital.
yeah.
And some of them were pretty bad off. They were dying of cancer or something. So I did a lot of social work.
Yeah.
Your stuff done in the dryer, I'm sure.
Well, and then you made all those crosses too, and you handed those out, right?
I did what?
Your crosses? Your crosses that you made, your wood crosses?
Oh yeah,
Didn't you do those?
I
And
made about 500 of those.
that's amazing. Who did you give those to?
I gave them to all the people in the church
Yeah.
and anybody I knew real well.
Yeah, you know, Mandy wears his all the time.
Was that right?
He loves it. Yeah.
Well, my Selma, she used to take them, give them away to the workers in the grocery store and so forth.
Yeah.
They said they liked it, and so she says, I'll say I'll get one from my husband. He makes them. They were really amazed at that.
Well, because Grandma used to wear hers all the time.
Oh yeah, she wears it
Yeah.
well.
Yeah. So, if you had one piece of advice or piece of wisdom to tell your grandchildren, what would it be?
Well, learn to do the best you can in whatever you aim to do in life. Try and help others, and be kind to everyone.
That's good advice, Grandpa. Do what you love to do, huh?
Huh?
I said, do what you love to do, huh?
Yeah.
Do you think you got up every morning doing what you love to do? Carpentry?
Oh, I did. It wasn't always easy, but I had some pretty tough jobs to do.
Yeah.
They'd hand me a set of blueprints and a big building, and then said, now go ahead and build this. We'll
Wow.
give you all the men you need and so forth. So I would figure it all out, and materials I needed and everything. And then I'd study the plans usually in the morning. I'd get up early and go to a walk to Monterey, or ride my bike to Monterey and back, and then study the plans and have a job all figured out in the morning, what to do. I get there early and I'd have everything planned out for the men and so forth. So I had a pretty tough job, but it was I liked it.
But you liked it. Yeah. So, if a stranger were to ask you why you are a Christian, how would you respond?
If I was what?
If somebody asked you why you are a Christian, how would you respond?
Well, I was trained to love the Lord with all my heart, with all my soul, with all my mind, since I was a little boy.
Mm.
So
That's
I was
wonderful.
trained right.
Yeah.
My mother was a good Christian lady.
She loved the Lord. How about your dad?
Well, my dad wasn't a Christian until he was older. Then he became a Christian. Just before he died, he was a Christian.
Oh, he was a Christian right before he died?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, praise God.
I really feel he was.
Yeah.
And when he was a little boy, he used to sing in the choir at the Episcopal Church.
So your grandparents were Christians.
What?
Your grandparents were Christians. His mom and dad raised him in the church.
No, not really. My grandmother was, but my grandfather, I don't know what he was.
Yeah.
But he was a good man.
Yeah.
And I didn't know my other grandparents, except my grandmother. My mother's mother, I knew her real well. And she loved me so much. I was the only boy in her family. And I treated her really royal. I thought a lot of her. She lived down in that little red house in Caledonia Avenue. You know the house I mean, I think.
Is it near Caledonia Park?
Yeah,
It's a little red house near
Yeah.
Caledonia Park? I'll have to go. I'm not too sure, but I'll have to go look. This was your mom's mom, your grandmother.
Yep.
Wow.
Mrs. Siebenailer.
What's her name?
Her name is Siebenailer.
Wow.
Yeah.
And she just loved you.
That means 7 nails.
And what nationality was she then? Was she, what is that?
Danish.
Danish. Wow. So what are you, Grandpa? Danish?
Danish, German, and English.
And English. Wow. Wow. So, because of knowing Jesus all your life and the fact that you are getting old and closer to that time when you will go home to be with Jesus, are you pursuing a closer walk with Jesus?
Am I what?
Pursuing a closer walk with Jesus?
I try to. I'm reading this book right now, which Heidi gave me to read.
Oh, I think my mom was just telling me about that. Is that the one my mom's reading too?
I think so.
Yeah, I heard it's really good.
And I've been reading it, and I'm halfway through it.
And what's that called, Grandpa? God is Love?
Yep.
Oh, good. Do you think about the time when you will see Jesus face to face? That
Oh,
you do
yes.
think about the time when you'll see Jesus face to face?
Oh, yes.
I always
I'd be
wonder.
very foolish if I didn't. All the reading I do and devotionals I do and everything, it gives me, I know how to feel.
Yeah. You feel at peace. Do you feel at peace, Grandpa?
I do.
Yeah. You'll be with the love of your life, too,
Yep.
with Grandma.